Life really can feel like a messed up video game sometimes, and that's exactly how this one starts. There's a guy just standing there in the middle of the crowd, thinking about how unfair and unbalanced life is. Same dude who's clearly down bad. Then he spots this shy girl looking right at him. She grabs his hand out of nowhere like, "What?" and invites him to come with her. And in that moment, he's just standing there, confused, wondering how the hell something like this is even happening. But before we get to what's happening now, he takes us back 3 months. That's when everything started falling apart. His name is Inuyama, and he used to be part of a pro gaming team. Things were good. They even made it to nationals. They'd promised to stick with it forever. But then the team decided to break up. One guy said he needed to prep for university. Another said he wasn't playing well anymore and couldn't keep helping. And the third, he just said the last 3 years were fun. That's it. No big drama. Just done. Inuyama didn't take it well. Imagine thinking you're going to spend your life with this squad, doing what you love. Then boom, it's over. That kind of loss hits hard. He spiraled. Started live streaming while downing drinks. Said he drank more than in all his 26 years combined. That's rough. But during that drunk stream, he made a huge decision. He was going to marry an idol. Yep, that's what he said. Chat went wild. Then, in a completely unhinged twist, he even declared he'd become an idol himself. Like, boy, what? But the dude was wasted. Memory totally shot. Next day, he wakes up with a hangover from hell, sitting in front of his PC, completely naked, wondering what the hell happened. And then his manager calls. Sadu, that's his manager, is furious. Turns out he did a live stream in his birthday suit. Fully nude. Channel got instantly banned. Agency dropped him. He's basically blacklisted now. With no income, no future plans, and a completely wrecked reputation, Inuyama was just lost. He felt like some jobless weirdo whose only skill was gaming. Totally stuck. Then out of nowhere, he gets a message from a fan offering to teach him how to invest. Sounds sketchy already, right? Well, surprise, it was a scam. Dude fell for it. Even joked he should have just gambled instead. The girl who scammed him? Yeah, she literally told him to just take a break. Desperate. He goes back to Satu and begs her to find him anything. She's blunt. Tells him there's work, but not for an idiot like him. He snaps back with, "Even an idiot can do something." And somehow that works. She offers him a job, not as a gamer, not as a streamer, but as a consultant for idols. And this man immediately perks up. Like, wait, for real? He's imagining himself hanging out with idols and living the dream. But Suda shuts that down quick. "You're just observing," she says. So they head to a photo shoot. There's a huge setup, cameras everywhere, lights, crew, the whole deal. And then she shows up. Roma Minamoto. Blonde, stunning, 21 years old, already experienced in the idol world. And Inuyama, he is mesmerized, just frozen watching her do her thing. She's lying down, posing effortlessly, and somehow the whole vibe in the room shifts. It's like she owns the place. And at that moment, it really hits him. There's no way someone like him could ever marry a girl like her. But still, maybe he could support her. That thought alone kind of lights him up. His manager agrees. Roma is the real deal. Then they go to meet her, and this man is shaking. He doesn't even know if he should be there. Suda tells him flat out, he's not even close to her level. Nervously, he knocks on the dressing room door. And when Roma opens it, he nearly dies on the spot. A tall woman, probably her handler, greets them and invites him in to talk business. Roma herself gives them a cold, polite welcome. Nothing too warm. And Inuyama, he's just standing there, jaw on the floor, completely starstruck. Suda literally has to nudge him like, "Stop drooling and say hi, you idiot." And that's how it all begins. So Inuyama introduces himself officially. He tells the idol, Aroma, that he's going to be her streaming consultant from now on. But Aroma, she's not impressed. She knows who he is. She knows all about the live stream incident. And straight up says she doesn't see how a loser like him could help her career. Ouch! Her agent scolds her for being rude, while Niyama is just standing there in the background, crying quietly. The agent explains that Aroma is just a little too blunt. Aroma shrugs and says she's just being honest. Inuyama tries to keep things moving, switching the focus to something productive. They all sit down to watch a clip from Aroma's latest stream, and wow, it's rough. Someone in chat made a comment about her hair, and she absolutely snapped. Then she started going off on anyone who criticized her attitude. She ended the stream early just because chat wasn't agreeing with her. That's when her agent lays it out. She's not growing as a streamer because she keeps beefing with her own fans. Inuyama watches this all go down and can't believe how cold she is. Aroma is like, I don't have patience for people's opinions. They don't shut up even when I ask. And Inuyama, trying to help, tells her she needs to treat her fans better. Aroma did not like that. She hits him with a sharp glare and asks if he's seriously telling her to be more attractive. Man stunned. He doesn't even know how to respond. Then Aroma just stands up to leave. Her agent apologizes on her behalf and says they'll continue later. But Satu, Inuyama's manager, leans in and tells him, you better fix this or you're getting fired. That's all Inuyama needs to hear. He bolts after Aroma without even waiting for instructions. This wasn't just about being a consultant anymore. To him, streaming wasn't just a job. It was about connection. It was fun. It brought people together. It gave him friends. And just thinking about those old times, about his team, gets him all emotional again. That's when he spots her, Aroma, standing by a claw machine. He calls out, but she turns and quickly tells him not to use her work name out here. Her real name is Rinamachi. He tries to talk business, but she's not having it. She just wants to play games at the arcade and tells him to buzz off. Still, he tries again, asks if she comes here often. Rin explains she's been hitting up arcades since high school, not to take selfies or hang with people, but to play rhythm games. Alone, because she's an antisocial attack. Yeah, her words. Inuyama is honestly shocked. He figured she must have been popular back in the day. But then he has an idea. He invites her to play a shooting game with him. She's confused. Like, why? He tells her that games these days are a way to connect. You can even play with your boss. She laughs and asks if that's supposed to be fun. But she agrees. They head to the zombie shooter machine. Problem is, Inuyama forgot he's broke. She notices. He tries to cover it up, saying he's just being careful after getting scammed. And for a moment, she actually looks sympathetic. Then she puts her own money in the machine. She says it might be fun to watch a former pro gamer in action. Inuyama promises to pay her back, but then she suddenly pauses. Wait! He never said he was a pro. She asks about it, a little embarrassed, and admits she already knew. He's surprised, but tells her it's totally fine. Then he's like, all right, time to show you what a real gamer can do. As they start playing, he starts guiding her like a coach, which zombies to shoot, where to focus, how to beat the boss. They crush the first level, and Ren's face lights up. She's never made it that far before. She grabs his shirt, totally hyped, which freaks him out just a bit. He's nervous, distracted, and they lose the next round. And this man is devastated. Like, how do we already lose? Ren's laughing now, just full-on giggling. Says he acts exactly like he did in his old streams. That's when it clicks. He asks if she's actually watched his streams before. She tries to brush it off, says she's not really a fan, but then she admits something. She loved watching the team streams. Loved that last tournament. She even noticed little things, like how he rubs his hands when he's nervous. And then she drops the real bomb. Even though he didn't win, she thought he did amazing. That match was super close. He's totally touched. Like, there was actually a girl watching his streams this whole time. Then she opens up too. She says she doesn't know how to socialize, that she gets jealous watching people like him who have real friendships. She talked about her co-workers, other idols, and how they get famous by showing off. But that's not her thing. So she figures she's just doomed to fail. Inuyama can't believe it. This beautiful, popular idol actually thinks she has no shot at success because she's not bubbly and outgoing. She tells him she's not cute. She's not good at fan service. and she can't connect with fans. But Inuyama looks her dead in the eye and says, that's not the kind of charm you need to win people over. Inuyama looks straight at her and says she gave off a cool vibe during the photo shoot. And then he adds her smile? Super cute. Innocent, even. He's not playing around either. Says that smile instantly turned him into a fan. Then he hits her with a plan. He tells her to stop overthinking it and just be herself on stream. Do stuff she actually enjoys. That's how she'll grow. Not only would it stop her from slipping up, but it would let her show off who she really is and maybe even unlock some hidden potential. Rin side-eyes him and points out that he's being way too optimistic, especially for a dude whose life is basically a dumpster fire. Inuyama just laughs and says it's to balance out her negativity. And then he tells her something that kind of stuns her, that a perfect girl like her, just smiling naturally, could honestly win over the world. She's still not totally sold, but his goofy, passionate energy starts to win her over. She asks if that kind of thing actually works. Then she grabs his hand. Yep, she takes his hand and says they should take advantage of the moment. Keep playing games together. He's all flustered, like, is this allowed? And with a sly little smile, she says it's fan service. Man is done. He's already falling for her. Hard. She leads him upstairs to the rhythm game section, and Inuyama's thinking to himself, if this is the kind of fan service she offers, I'll be her biggest fan, no question. Later that night, we're back at Inuyama's place. He's chilling at home and sees that Rin just went live. He pulls up her stream, and it's a total change in vibe. She's in some Hunger-themed game map, and right in the middle of dinner, she pauses to apologize, like, genuinely apologize, for how she's acted in past streams. She says she doesn't want to change her looks just to please people, and of course, some folks in chat call her stubborn. But Rin claps back. She says that's Matt's kind of stubbornness, whatever that means, and that she always wears her best clothes for any occasion. Then she hits the viewers with a real one. She says her natural appearance is her favorite version of herself. And even if it sounds selfish, she wants people to like her for that. You can see the nerves on her face. But then, boom, messages of support start flooding in. She's surprised, then totally embarrassed. And to cover it up, she quickly says it's time to start the gaming portion of the stream. On his side of the screen, Inuyama's beaming. He's so proud. For the first time, there are positive comments flooding her chat. And this dude is soaking in every word. He's like, yeah, most people focus on the hate, but this version of Ren, the real her, is going to rise above it all. She's finally connecting with her audience. And that's when it hits him. Even though he started this job for the money, now he actually wants to see her grow. He's hyped for what's next. Right then, his phone rings. It's Satu, his manager. She tells him to get ready. He's starting officially tomorrow. Next day, new vibes. The city wakes up, and Satu gives him the big news. Ren's stream was a massive success. And just like that, Inuyama's officially hired as her streaming advisor. He's fired up. Thanks her for the opportunity. Ren? She's totally unfazed. But then Satu hits them with two conditions. First, and get ready for this, Inuyama has to be Ren's fan service training partner, meaning pretend to be her boyfriend. Yeah, that happens. Ren straight up shatters a cup in protest. Doesn't even hesitate to reject the idea. Meanwhile, Inuyama is standing there like, wait, what now? Satu doesn't stop. She roasts Inuyama, says it'll be good for him since he's got zero luck with women. Just cooking this man in front of everyone. She even says that if he confessed for real, it'd just sound like a joke. Oof. Then she explains the logic. Inuyama is literally the target audience. If he understands what fans want, the job gets easier. He's still unsure. Asks if he really deserves his chance, considering, he's a loser. Satu reminds him it's all fake. Nothing real. And that deflates him completely. Dude had hope for, 2 seconds. But wait, there's more. Satu tells him the real goal. Take Ren's channel from 20,000 subs to 1 million. And if he starts to slip, he's fired. No second chances. Inuyama's jaw drops. He was just getting comfy, and now the pressure is on. He panics for a moment, but then, like always, tries to stay positive. Says Ren's got what it takes. Ren, of course, thinks it's impossible. Sutta cuts in, no time to doubt. They're starting right now. First item on the agenda, a big outside event. It's a photo session, and apparently no one ever shows up for these. Inuyama is shocked. But Rin explains that gravure idols are supposed to be cute, and that's not her brand. Her manager chimes in, these events are important for bringing in money and getting new clients. Inuyama asks how it works, and they explain that fans show up to take close-up pics of the models. Some just chat. Pretty standard idol stuff. Then Inuyama pitches an idea. Let's make a video explaining how it works. It could help bring in more people. The manager actually loves it. She asks if the outfit will be prepped at the office. But Rin surprises everyone by saying she's already got it. She even pulls out her phone and shows Inuyama the pics. She's wearing this black and white outfit that shows a lot of skin, and Inuyama nearly short circuits. Says something like, that kind of exposure's basically illegal. Rin gets thoughtful, realizes her whole idea of exposure might be kind of twisted. The manager sets the next meeting for 9 a.m. sharp. Once it ends, Rin catches Inuyama before he leaves. Since they're now a fake couple, she wants to know, what should she call him? He totally forgot about the whole fake dating thing. Just tells her, Inuyama's fine. They'll talk about it later. So, Rin hits him with a little punch on the shoulder, calls her by the name they agreed on, and says they'll meet again tomorrow. Just that tiny moment, her saying his name and that little touch, completely sends Inuyama. This man is gone. But hey, that's all the motivation he needs. He's ready to give this job everything he's got. He's fully locked in now. He's going to make his fake girlfriend a top-tier idol. No holding back. Next morning rolls in, 10:45 a.m. And guess what? Ren's still not there. No calls, no texts. Her manager is fuming. She apologizes to Inuyama for delay, thinking maybe the blonde just overslept. But Inuyama's not even mad. He's actually worried something bad happened. And then, boom! Rin storms like a tornado. Hair a mess, looking half asleep, apologizing like crazy. And yeah, Inuyama thinks the messy hair is kind of cute, but still starts scolding her. Rin admits she overslept, but her manager isn't letting it slide. She rips into her for being late, and making Inuyama wait around for 2 hours. Inuyama tries to defend her, but the manager shuts him down like, don't spoil her. The tension is thick until Inuyama finally snaps. He's like, can we just start recording already? That shuts everyone up, and they finally get moving. The manager wants Inuyama to look like just another fan in the photos, and reminds him, don't look too excited. And then, Rin walks out in her outfit. It's a schoolroom-style uniform, straight out of a manga. And oh man, Inuyama is fighting for his life trying to keep a straight face. She even teases him a little, noticing his cheeky expression. But she's not done yet. Rin slips off the blouse. And yup, she's got a swimsuit underneath. Inuyama is just done. Overloaded. He's trying to be professional. But this much fan service is too powerful. She tells him it's actually less revealing than her original pick. That blows his mind even more. But before he can spiral too far, the manager barks at him to focus and get to work. So he does. He turns on the camera and sees her through the lens. She looks even more stunning. But he notices something else. Ren's a lot more serious this time. It throws him off. She suddenly asks if he's mad. He realizes she's worried about how he feels. He reassures her that even if he was mad, he's in no place to complain. The vibe in the room shifts. Things get kind of deep. Inuyama starts thinking out loud. He remembers how he tried so hard to save his old group, but nothing worked. That's when he started believing the idea that people only change when they want to. He reminds Rin she once said she wanted to change. So until that happens, all anyone can do is wait and believe in her. That hits her hard. She blushes, and Inuyama is low-key happy. He feels like she's loosening up. But then Rin drops the truth. She stayed up all night practicing fan service, and it didn't go well. That's why she overslept. She apologizes again. Then she walks over with this super soft expression and asks if he wants to see his girlfriend in a swimsuit as fan service. Inuyama is dying. He barely holds it together. He jokingly says he should get some compensation for waiting so long. Rin asks what kind of compensation. He short circuits. All he can say is that the ramen he ate yesterday was really good. She laughs and says he wasted a whole outfit on that. Inuyama tries to act cool, but deep down he's happy. Then he gets an idea. Something for the video. Fast forward a week. The team's wrapping up the shoot, and Ren's manager says they got 2 reservations for the next offsite event. Just 2, but it's a record for run. All thanks to the video they made. That clip actually brought in new fans. Watching the footage back, Inuyama's blown away. He was so focused on doing everything right, he didn't even realize how much Rin was trying in her own way. The manager praises his work. He brushes it off like it's nothing. Even Rin says he did a good job. And of course, he turns into a tomato again. As the manager goes to grab the car, Rin and Inuyama are left alone. She blushes and tells him she actually enjoyed the photo shoot that day. Inuyama lights up, promising to make the next ones even better. They walk side by side. Then she brings up something awkward. She asks if he's still upset about her rejecting the fake dating idea. He tries to play it cool, says he's not. But then she admits something big. She didn't reject him. She was scared it might turn into something real. And that kind of stuns him. So he asks, "Does that mean we're friends then?" And Rin, savage as always, goes, "No chance." Ouch! But she smiles and says, "Life goes on." Even though it stings, Inuyama laughs it off. They both thank each other, and even in that awkward little moment, there's something real growing between them. Maybe not love yet, but definitely something. So, around the corner of the building, this dark-haired girl overhears a conversation. Rin and Inuyama talking about their whole fake dating thing. And instantly, this girl's like, "Wait, I want a fake boyfriend too." But before she could do anything, a girl with glasses shows up and tells her go change clothes. End of that moment, for now. Later, Inuyama sends his first text to Rin. And wow, Rin is hyped. Her reply is full of exclamation points, like way too many. She thanks him for the shoot and promises she won't give out his number. Even she's like, "Okay, chill, that was a lot of excitement." Inuyama can't believe it. He's got a literal idol's phone number, but he tries to keep his cool. Tells himself it's just because they're co-workers. But nope, Rin told him straight up to keep her entertained whenever she's bored. Like, that is not just a work thing. Still, Inuyama doesn't want to read into it. He's staying grounded. Now he's all fired up. He knows Rin is trusting him, and that it's his job now to help her level up into a full-on, top-tier adult. So he decides to hit the bookstore and study how idols work. But just as he's walking down the street, chaos strikes. He accidentally snags the sleeve of a girl's blouse with his jacket zipper. She screams, he panics. Total anime moment. He's apologizing like crazy. She's apologizing too, and she's like, "Don't worry, I'll just cut the thread." Then he actually looks at her, and oh no, she's adorable. She's super sweet, says stuff like, "One thread won't hurt." Then admits it's kind of her fault too for wearing clothes that get caught easily. Inuyama's losing it. She's cute and knows how to sew. That combo hits different. But then she drops the twist. She says she saw him at the photo event. And not just that. She's been thinking about him ever since. She says fate brought them together. Like, we locked eyes for more than 3 seconds. That means something. Girl is smitten. Inuyama is just standing there, totally confused. They introduce themselves, and she says her name is Kahaku Ichifuji. Then bam, out of nowhere she tells him her manager doesn't allow romantic stuff. But maybe a fake relationship is okay. She straight up asks, "Want to be my fake boyfriend?" He's like, "Huh?" And then she confirms it. She knows he's Ren's fake boyfriend. She says she's been looking for someone like that. Someone in the same field. She starts explaining more, but before he can even respond, she's already running to catch her train. She just waves like, "I'll come up with a plan," and poof, she's gone. Dude's left at the station, dazed, trying to figure out what just happened, and he doesn't even notice a poster nearby with her face on it. Yep, he still hasn't realized she's famous. Later, he meets up with Rin, and tells her what went down. Ren's like, "Oh, that's Kahaku. She loves love." Shows him a pic on her phone. And yeah, Kahaku is way more famous than Run. Inuyama finally connects the dots. She's also an idol. That explains the whole magical aura. They're having lunch, and Ren's just munching on her food like she doesn't care. She notices Inuyama's not eating, and he says he's skipping lunch to save money. So she holds out some food with her chopsticks and tells him to open his mouth. Inuyama's brain breaks. He's looking around like, "There's so many people here?" She's not having it. Tells him again to just eat. Right when he finally leans in, boom, Kahaku shows up. She's over moon, thinking this is some amazing fake date in action. Inuyama is red as a tomato, trying to explain, but before he can get a word out, Rin shoves the food in his mouth. Kahaku's eyes light up. She thinks he offers all kinds of boyfriend services, and she's already got this whole fantasy written. She starts narrating this dramatic fake story. In it, Inuyama is terminally ill, and she's his nurse, and they're trying to make beautiful memories before he dies. Yeah, it gets wild fast. She's totally in her own world, imagining this romantic manga scene. But Inuyama finally cuts in and tells her the truth. This fake dating thing is just fan service. He's not actually a rent-a-boyfriend. Kahaku freezes. Her whole world shatters. She's so embarrassed, she wants to vanish. And Inuyama is like, "Dang, maybe I was too harsh." That's when she explains herself. Says she falls in love too easily, way too intensely. Having a fake boyfriend helps her keep it together. It keeps her from causing problems at work or falling for the wrong people. She's clearly ashamed, but she's just trying to manage her feelings. Inuyama tries to comfort her, and then, out of nowhere, Rin chimes in. She says, "Well, maybe the best solution is if he's a fake boyfriend for both of us." And now Inuyama's brain officially crashes. What even is his life anymore? Kahaku is totally flustered after everything, but surprisingly, she doesn't say no to the idea of being Inuyama's fake girlfriend. Meanwhile, Inuyama is the only one who realizes just how insane this whole situation is. Sadu, Ren's manager, is shocked that even Kahaku knows the relationship between Ran and Inuyama is fake. Like, how many people know at this point? Kahaku, still blushing hard, tries to explain herself. She says she gave Rin some fan service tips earlier, and now she wants a fake relationship as a reward. Like what? That's a reward? She goes on about how this is her backup plan to experience love. And honestly, her manager looks so done. But somehow she agrees. She even tells Sadu that if this fake romance helps Kahaku stop obsessing over love, it might actually be good for the agency. Sadu gives in. She tells Inuyama she wishes him luck, because she's out, literally kicks her way out of the office, leaving him to deal with it. Brutal. Rin then announces that Kahaku is now officially their fan service instructor, and Kahaku's all in. She asks him what she thinks about when replying to fans. Inuyama's impressed. This girl's taking her job seriously. Kahaku says she treats her fans like friends. Everyone's got problems, and even though she can't fix them all, she wants to offer a little comfort. Rin actually likes that, so they decide to practice some fan service. Kahaku starts the roleplay. Inuyama walks in. She flashes him the cutest smile and thanks him for coming. And oh man, Inuyama is done. The blush is real. She whispers that there isn't much time, but they can still enjoy this moment. My guy is straight up melting. Then Kahaku explains why this works. It's all about charm. And she tells Ran that since her vibe is a bit cooler, she should avoid being too distant or picking fights. Even Rin starts to admire Kahaku's approach. Inuyama, he's already mentally adding her to his top idols list. Just as things start to feel a little too real, Kahaku claps her hands and declares the lesson is over. But plot twist, she demands a reward. She wants head pats and words of love. Ren's just like, "Yeah, you're doing this too." Inuyama panics. He's never done anything like that before. But Kahaku's like, "Fine, I'll just use my imagination." Then she orders both of them to sit next to each other. Inuyama's hands are shaking. This man is trembling like he's about to defuse a bomb. But he steps up. He places his hands on their heads and, barely holding it together, calls them cute. Rin smiles and says it reminds her of her dad. And Inuyama just breaks. Starts crying. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm not cut out for this. But Kahaku, she says nothing. He calls her name. Still nothing. Then, boom, she runs out of the room, screaming. No one knows what just happened. Rin tries to guess. Maybe Kahaku remembered her dad? Inuyama starts freaking out, wondering if he gives off dad vibes now. Out in the hallway, Kahaku's pacing, repeating to herself, he's not my real boyfriend. She knows his words were kind of fake. She knows he's not her type. But still, she's completely fallen for him. Later, Kahaku's manager is talking to Sadu. They're both worried. Her manager suspects the worst. Kahaku might want to quit being an idol. She watches Kahaku holding a plushie and asks if it's an idol character. Nope, it's Inuyama. She made a plushie of him. And yeah, now her manager is definitely freaking out. Cut to the next day. Kahaku's getting ready for a photo event. In a bunny costume, no less. She greets fans, and one of them tells her she looks cute in person. Sweet, right? But then this jerk asks her to strike a dirty pose. Kahaku, clearly uncomfortable, tries to politely say no, but the guy starts arguing. He's like, you do poses like that in magazines, why not now? And then he even complains that she's not in a swimsuit, even though the event wasn't supposed to have swimsuits. Security finally steps in, but the guy keeps going. He mocks her, saying, now she wants to act innocent? It's brutal. He straight up says graveyard idols like her are worthless. Back in the dressing room, Kahaku is crushed. Rin checks on her and says the organizers apologize, but still, Kahaku's shaken. She's scared Inuyama might think the same way about idols like her. Looking at the plushie, she tries to convince herself otherwise. She wants to believe he's different. She hugs the plushie tight and quietly says she knows he probably does think that. And then she drops the bomb. She's quitting, just like that. She's giving up on being an idol, all because of one cruel fan, and falling too hard for a fake boyfriend. Kahaku falling in love and want to quit her job? Yeah, apparently, that's not even a new thing. Her manager's been through this before. Every single time she catches feelings, boom, instant panic. She overthinks everything, freaks out about how the other person sees her, and suddenly wants to leave the idol life behind. So, the manager's out of options and makes a desperate move. She calls Inuyama. Yep, she needs a favor. And that favor turns into a date at the aquarium. Inuyama shows up, ready to play fake boyfriend for the day. It's supposed to be a reward for Kahaku's hard work. But let's be real, he's there to convince her not to quit. Pressure's on. Kahaku pulls out her phone and asks if he wants to take pictures. And even though it's for work, Inuyama's clearly hyped to be there with her. He quickly remembers, though, he's supposed to be cheering her up, not the other way around. So he goes all in, promising they'll do everything that looks fun. Then Kahaku drops the bomb. She wants him to call her by her first name. That boy almost short-circuits on the spot. They hit the penguin exhibit first. Tons of adorable photos. Then it's the shark tank. They even get to touch the sharks. Inuyama's eyes light up when he sees the whale shark, and Kahaku? She's loving his excitement. It's honestly a super cute vibe between them. Later, while chilling by the tanks, Kahaku wants to see the pics Inuyama took. He hesitates, and yeah, they're a mess. Totally blurry. Dude admits he's not used to taking pictures of people, and she just sighs like, you're way too hasty. Fair. Then she shows him her pictures. First up, a really solid shot of him. She even gives him a quick tutorial, calling him photogenic. But then she gets a little weird, scrolling through a whole collection of his excited moments. She's clearly been snapping him all day like a fangirl. Inuyama's low-key flustered, but tells her she's really good at photography. That's when she asks if he's ever seen her modeling work. He says yeah, and not just that, he bought her first photo album. She's stunned. He starts describing it, especially the pics with the purple flowers. He talks about how real they felt, like he could almost smell the flowers through the pages. It was like being transported to a fantasy world. He stumbles over his words, but you can tell he genuinely means it. Kahaku's eyes get soft. She says she became a gravure idol to express herself, to make people feel something. And when that fan humiliated her the other day, it hurt. But Niyama's words made it better. And he's pissed now. Who dares insult Kahaku? He swears he'll start going to her photo shoots, offering ideas, helping out, whatever it takes. Even jokes about beating up rude fans in video games. She laughs, reassured. Break time's over, but Kahaku stops him. One last thing, she asks red-faced if they can hold hands. That's it. The man's ready to explode. But she says it's something she's always wanted. Inuyama says yes. If she's okay with holding hands with someone like him, then let's go. They touch hands, and his brain practically shuts down. Her hands are soft. His heart is racing. This dude is straight up melting. Date ends. Back to work. While lifting boxes, Inuyama's deep in thought. He realizes idols are just people. Real people with feelings. Maybe fans would connect more if Run, his main client, showed more emotion through her photos like Kahaku does. He even starts thinking maybe gravure photos aren't just spicy shots. Maybe they're actually art. But before he can finish the thought, boom. 2 giant masterpieces enter the scene. And no, not paintings. I'm talking serious curves. He asks if the woman is okay after bumping into her, but she's more concerned about the box he was carrying. It's all good. Then she casually pulls out a video image of herself. Yeah, she's that kind of idol, and signs it with a soft smile. She asks his name, and Inuyama is so stunned he can't even speak. She thinks he's a foreigner. Dead. She introduces herself as Komori, 27 years old, gravure idol, and very much assuming he's not from around here. Inuyama fumbles to explain he's not a foreigner. His manager jumps in like, "What are you saying now?" Komori asks for a selfie to make the autograph legit, and while posing, the manager gives Inuyama the rundown. Komori's super famous, huge social media following, total pro. Komori thanks him for the help, but then, out of nowhere, lifts her skirt and asks if the shot looks good. "Excuse me." Inuyama and his manager freak out. Try to remind her they're standing right there. Komori just laughs and calls him innocent. Her own manager brushes it off like, "No worries, we'll edit it later." This team is wild. Then, Komori drops a bomb. She's interested in Inuyama. She's been watching Ren's channel and noticed a vibe change. She knows he's the reason. Inuyama tries to be modest, saying it's Ren's hard work. He just gives tiny suggestions. Then he mentions their goal, 1 million subscribers. But mid-sentence, he gets distracted. Yeah, by Komori's cleavage. Dude can't help it. She definitely notices. Satu, his manager, says he's going to pay for that one. He swears it wasn't on purpose, but Komori just smirks, tells him he can look all he wants, and calls him cute. At this point, Inuyama's smile is so forced it's about to snap his face in half. Komori says he reminds her of her little brother, despite the obvious age difference. Inuyama is just sitting there, thinking how cool it would be to have a big sister like Komori. But then she hits him with the cold truth. Her own brother hates her. Like, legit hates her with all his heart. No sugarcoating. Before things can get more awkward, Komori's manager shows up and tells her she's late. She rushes off, apologizing for not being much help with advice. But SCU brushes it off. They agree to talk another time. Right before leaving, Komori turns around and casually invites them all out for drinks. Because why not? Fast forward to later that night. The city's glowing, drinks are flowing, snacks are out, and the vibe is chill. Well, except for Inuyama, who's going through it trying to serve the salad. Poor guy is sweating because his manager told him very clearly not to do anything dumb. Komori mentioned Suda couldn't come because of work, and the guy notices her manager didn't show up either. Inuyama's freaking out on the inside. Like, how'd he get this lucky? Drinking with the graveyard idol? Komori starts talking about her content. She does more vlogs and live streams, always trying unique camera angles to keep things fresh. Then out of nowhere, Inuyama asks why her brother hates her. You can feel the awkward silence. Komori finally opens up. She says it's because of the image she sells, kind of like a fantasy girlfriend. And for some people, especially teens, that hits hard. She's used to getting cursed at or even kicked out of homes. But Inuyama, he's like, if I had a sister like that, I'd brag about it all over my streams. That gets Komori excited. Turns out, Inuyama's a streamer too, just like her brother. They start geeking out over games. Inuyama talks about how he practically shuts down waiting for new releases. It's the biggest thing in a gamer's life. The hype, the leaks, the spoilers. Komori laughs, saying her brother talks the exact same way. There's this little moment where she admits it feels nice to talk about her family with someone. She only really has her manager. The other models avoid her, too scared of being branded like she is. Then Komori says, let's get drunk. My treat. But Inuyama hesitates. He screwed up the last time he drank, and he's worried he won't be able to keep it together around her or the other girls. Komori asks if he doesn't like alcohol. He says he does. So she leans in, says she'll take care of him if anything happens. Now he's tipsy, and he blurts out how nice it is to drink with pretty girls. Komori actually blushes a little and tells him to keep drinking. She says watching a younger guy get drunk is kinda soothing. Then he slips again. Says she smells really good. She asks if it's a bad smell, but he's like, no, it's amazing. Komori says she always puts on perfume after a bath, that the scent makes her feel happy all day. And that's when Inuyama just freezes. Because bath. She totally catches him. Accuses him of having naughty thoughts. He denies it like a panicked anime protagonist, but she's already hugging him. And not just a regular hug. This is a work of art level hug. She calls him cute and says she wants to take him home. Next thing we know, they're in a car. It's late. Inuyama's being crushed by compliments, and Komori's clinging to him like glue. They pull up to this insanely fancy building, and that's when it hits him. He's really going to her place. Inside, it's just as elegant and fancy as you'd expect from a top-tier idol. The smell, the lighting, the whole vibe. It's overwhelming. Inuyama's mind is running wild. He's convinced he's about to lose his innocence tonight. Then she comes out in comfy house clothes, and the poor guy almost dies on the spot. She sits next to him, and he nervously asks, "So, what now?" Komori casually takes off her jacket and says they're going to do what people usually do after drinking. And then she hands him a protein drink. For hangovers. I'm not even joking. Inuyama looks like his soul just left his body. Komori's smiling like it's totally normal and says she'll call a taxi to make sure he gets home safe. Meanwhile, he's sitting there drowning in disappointment. She thinks he hates protein. The guy downs a drink, with tears in his eyes, and then the doorbell rings. Komori says it must be Ryu. She opens the door, and a guy comes in, immediately snapping at her. Inuyama watches, thinking maybe it's her boyfriend or something, but nope, it's her younger brother. And not just that, he's someone Inuyama knows. They were part of the same group of pro gamers. But Ryu isn't here for a reunion. He's furious. He asks if she really brings random guys home like this. Tells her to get a grip. She's a celebrity, and she's dragging both herself and Inuyama down. Then he turns to Inuyama and says, "Don't get involved with women like her." Savage. Inuyama tries to explain, but Ryu's done. He even offers Inuyama a place to crash instead. Then he suddenly remembers he brought something, food from their mom. He drops the bag off and walks out without even giving Komori a chance to speak. She just stands there, staring at the door, heartbroken. Time passes. The apartment's quiet and dark. The food sits untouched. Komori's in bed, curled up, saying her brother hates her now, and she doesn't know how to keep going. Then her phone lights up. One of her close friends just posted that she's getting married. The same friend who promised to tell her in person. Now Komori's the only one left. All the other graveyard idol girls are getting married. She's alone. And just when it couldn't get worse, some jerk DMs her saying she should consider adult films now that she's getting old. That's it. She throws her phone. She feels totally empty. No direction. Just stuck. Meanwhile, Ryu's at home, finally listening to what really happened. He hears the full story. But even after knowing everything, he still thinks his sister is disgusting. Man, that one hurt.